Hi everyone. Once again, I welcome you to my channel, and today I'm going to discuss about a study plan. I know December is close. I know you guys are struggling with a lot of pressure to clear your examination, continue your studies, and effectively study, including your coachings, which would be continuing as of now. So I've received a lot of requests from students on how to schedule or plan an effective study towards December examination, given the limited time frame which is left before the examination. So here I am with a video in which I'm going to explain you how to divide your time into various slots and how to prepare an effective plan. So before I discuss the plan, let me tell you one thing, that every individual is a different individual, and the plan which I am suggesting is just a draft plan. So I am suggesting plan as me, what is comfortable to me. This plan can be very well modulated or modified as per your requirements. So please feel free to modify, add, delete, whatever you want to do in this plan. This is just a tentative plan. This is just a draft plan, which if I were at your place, I would have adopted this plan if I was appearing for December examination. So we are sitting in September. I am creating a plan from right from September to December. How should you bifurcate your time and how should you continue your studies? Hope you find it useful. Okay, so this is a study plan for CMA final students December attempt. I know many of you would be thinking that, sir, can we apply this same plan in June attempt as well? Of course, you can do that. You can, just the way I have created a plan for December, you can create a similar plan for the June attempt as well. So the principles, broad principles remain the same, be it a December plan or a June plan. Now, I am creating this plan for a period starting from 15th September to 17th December. Your exams are starting from 10th and they will continue till 17th December. Of course, as advertised by me several times, as suggested by me several times, because of the several benefits which it has, you guys must be appearing for both the groups. Let me tell you one thing at the very outset. Whether you have started full-fledged, wholehearted study or not, whether you have completed your course or not, these 2 months are pivotal in clearing your examination. So I assume a student who's been studying for 6 months, past 6 months, religiously, wholeheartedly, if he or she doesn't work for this period, in this period, if he or she doesn't work, then it will be fatal for your examination. And if he or she has not prepared anything or has not studied for anything in the past, but for these 2 months or for this tenure you study well and you study effectively, then I'm sure you are going to clear your examination. So this time frame is very important. The 2 months prior to the examination is very important, and hence it's important to bifurcate this entire period into small parts and create a timetable out of it, which I am going to show you how to create a timetable for this particular tenure. So, of course, now I am dividing this period into some smaller parts. Please see it carefully. This is the time when your exams will be conducted, both groups. The institute has this time thrown a googly at you by giving alternative examination for first group and the second group. So 10th will be group 1, 11th will be group 2, 12th will be group 1, so on and so forth. So now let me tell you that for the period from 6th December to 10th December, this period, I'm splitting this period into these 5 days, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10th is your examination. So 6, 7, 8th, 9th. 4 days followed by your examination. So first split is being done on 6th of September, 6th of December, sorry. The next split which I am going to do is on 15th of November. So this is period A, which consists of about say 60 to 61 days. This is period B, which consists of about say roughly 20 odd days. Then this is period C, which again consists of about say 11 days. This is how I have bifurcated your days into 3 broad buckets. Bucket number 1, starting from 15th September to 15th November. Bucket number 2, starting from 16th November to 6th December. Bucket number 3, starting from 6th December to 10th December and 10th December to 17th December, which is your examination tenure. So I have clubbed in C part, I have clubbed 2 things, 4 days before your examination and your examination days. Now please see what is to be done in each of this period. So we'll do a reverse calculation. I'll tell you what is to be done in period C first. Period C is your exam days plus 4 grace days. Of course, 4 grace days is whole and solely dedicated to corporate law or law, whatever you say it. Law is your first examination, and your law examination, before your examination on 10th, you are going to study for the 4 days. Continuously, you are going to study only and only law, nothing else. And of course, after your law paper, you have to study each subject in this short tenure of half day each. You have to cover each and every subject in this tenure. So what do you need to do in 4 grace days? You need to do only and only law, starting from 6th of December to 9th of December. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. 4 days you have to study only and only law. Next, period B. Now period B consists of approximately 20 days. 15 days of November and about 5 days of December. So approximately 20 days you have for period B. In period B, you have to revise all the subjects except for law. Law you don't have to revise. In a time frame of 2 to 3 days each. Now this is a challenge. Sir, easy said than done, but how to revise each and every subject in a mere short span of 2 to 3 days each? बोल तो दिया आपने easily, but 20 दिन के अंदर 8 सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना, किसी में 3 लगेगा ऑब्वियसली, किसी में 2 लगेगा, बट 20 दिन के अंदर 8 सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना इज़ अ टास्क. ऑफ कोर्स इट्स अ टास्क. मैं ना एक फिगर यहाँ लिख के छोड़ रहा हूँ जिसका मतलब मैं आपको बाद में बताऊंगा. मैंने यहाँ लिखा है 25%. मैंने पीरियड ए पे लिखा है 25%. नाउ आई एम कमिंग ऑन टू पीरियड ए. Period A is the major period. which consists of about 60 days. ये वो 60 डेज हैं जिसके अंदर आपको एक फुल फ्लेजेड रीडिंग करनी है ऑफ ऑल द सब्जेक्ट, not revise. Actually, this is the first time, so revise is a wrong word. I think I should write do all the subjects in 60 days. Now please mind that this is including law. So B was excluding law, this is including law. Acha sir. I'm just putting up another percentage over here, 50%. सर इसका क्या मतलब 50% का? I'll just let you know what do you mean by 50%. बट क्या आपको ब्रॉडली प्लान समझ में आया? प्लान बड़ा सिंपल सा है, 60 दिन, 20 दिन, 11 दिन. 11 दिन में तो ऑफकोर्स यू हैव हाफ अ डे ईच फॉर ईच ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट्स, सो यू आर गोइंग टू रिवाइज फॉर दो सब्जेक्ट्स. 4 days you have for law, dedicatedly, wholly solely for law. So 4 days you are doing only law, nothing else. 20 days where you have to do revision in a mere span of say 2 days or 3 days each for all the subjects except for law. So you have 7 subjects to prepare in period B. Period A, you have 8 subjects to prepare. Full-fledgedly, you have to do all the subjects. Starting from 15 September to 15 November, you have to complete all the subjects in a mere span of 60 days. I have given some percentages, which is 50%, 25%, and 25% for these 3 periods. I'll explain what these percentages are all about. Now, let me start in detail to tell you that how would you study in each of the periods. Period A. So, now I was fond of law a lot. So, I would definitely dedicate 6 days to law. SFM was my weakness, so I would dedicate little more to SFM. SCM was okay, so I'll dedicate 7 days to SCM. Direct tax is really lengthy and even I used to be afraid of direct taxes, hence a lot of days for direct taxes. CFR, pakka 10 days for CFR because the course is wide, huge, and questions take a lot of time to be done. So 10 days for CFR. IDT, relatively smaller than CFR or DT and can be covered in a short span of time. Cost and management audit, which is of course little easy. SPM, BVM. This should take about 8 days. So this is how, if I were you, I would have bifurcated my entire 60 days which are given to me in period 1 into different subjects. Now if I add up all these numbers, it comes out to exactly 60 days. Exactly 60 days. Now please remember one thing, during study of your tenure, please do smart study. Please appreciate that you are not in 12th standard or a graduation paper that you'll be doing entire syllabus and you'll be, you have a lot of luxury of time. You don't have luxury of time. If you don't have luxury of time, then you have to play it smart. Do ABC analysis of your entire syllabus using scanner. And pick up those topics which are very, very important first, which have repeatedly come in exams first, and leave others for the balance days. But the catch in this entire plan is that if on day 6th you realize that you still have 3 chapters which you have not studied in law, you have to leave those 3 chapters. You cannot take 1 day from SFM to include it in law and then realize that you did not give sufficient time to SFM. You cannot do that. So you have to stick to this plan. You have to cover your entire law in 6 days. You have to divide all the chapters within these 6 days of your study. You cannot exceed 6 days if you have given 6 days to law. And of course, needless to say, these days can change. So if you feel that no, sir, I don't need 6 days for law, I can do it in 4 days. Perfect. Do it in 4 days. Give 2 days to some other subject which you think is more difficult for you. That is absolutely doable. But this is how you should bifurcate your days, and you should test whether you are complying with these days or not. First of all, smart study, ABC analysis, use scanner. Second, don't exceed the time limit given. टाइम लिमिट को एक्सीड नहीं करना है. यू हैव टू लीव दैट सब्जेक्ट इफ़ यू आर नॉट एबल टू कंप्लीट दैट सब्जेक्ट. लीव दैट सब्जेक्ट. जितने भी 1-2 चैप्टर्स रह गए हैं फटाफट उन्हें रीड करो और छोड़ दो. बट 6th डे अगर आपने दिया है तो 6 डे के आगे आप 7 डे नहीं दे सकते SFM को. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट एट ऑल द लीस्ट, मैं आपको बताता हूँ व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस परसेंटेज 50%. In the first study which you are doing in period A, you have to reduce your entire syllabus to 50%, which means if in holding chapter you have 60 questions which you have done in your class, then out of those 60 questions, you have to cut out 30 questions which are easy or which you think you need not do it in the next round of revision, and you have to reduce your book to 30% or to 50%. Now 50% is just a rough calculation. Even if it is 60% or 70%, that's fine. But you have to reduce your syllabus substantially in your first reading. तो होता क्या है, जब हम फर्स्ट रीडिंग करते हैं तब हम लोगों को कई सारी चीज़ें ऐसी लगती हैं कि यार ये तो बहुत ईजी है. वी कैन ईजिली थ्रैश दीज थिंग्स आउट. ऑल दोज ईजी थिंग्स नीड्स टू बी थ्रैश्ड in the first reading itself, so that you can be assured that next time whenever you are revising your syllabus, you are not revising it 100%, you are just revising 40%, 30% or 50%. 50% is an idealistic situation where idealistic you can do it, but I don't think 50% is practical. So I guess 70% is the percentage which is a practical percentage. So you have to reduce. So if you have 100 questions, you have to reduce those questions to a mere 70 questions which you are going to start in period B. You cannot take the entire 100 questions to period B because period B is much smaller than period A. ठीक है सर, बात समझ में आ गई. So in first reading we have to reduce our syllabus by 30%. Say we need to get it to 70% after the first revision or after the first preparation of this entire syllabus. So this is about period A. Now let's come on to period B. Same strategy goes out for period B as well. Now the number of days are much less. They are either 2 days or 3 days. Of course, the syllabus is also much less. It is just 70% or 60% of what you have studied in your first period. Some students ask me, sir, do we reduce the subject or the course content for theory subjects as well? Answer is yes. Even for theory subjects, after the first reading, you are going to highlight the important words and the important topics by way of highlighter or by way of circles, and you are going to study only those circled parts or the highlighted parts in your second study. How will I know that which parts are important? Again, you will know which parts are important using scanner. Scanner will guide you on what are the important elements of that particular chapter or subject, and then you can easily thrash out the subject. Now the idea is that after the second reading you have to further thrash out the entire subject by 25%. Yes. So if after the first reading your 100 questions of your holding chapter are reduced to say 70 questions, after the period B revision, you have to reduce these 70 questions to a mere 30 questions or 20 questions. Lesser the better, but don't overdo it. Don't if you think some question is important and you are not confident about that question and you have to revise it again, please keep it. You don't have to do it deliberately, but You have to thresh out the easy questions which you think now need no revision. And sometimes what happens is a concept is getting repeated in another question, same concept is there in the previous question, so you can very well leave the previous question and do only the next question so that both the concepts are covered. So after the second reading, you have to reduce your questions to mere 30 questions or 20 questions. Finally, period C, and the most critical period, where you will get only half a day. And of course, no corporate law, no law, not corporate, but no law in period B. Period B should not contain law as your revision scope, because law we are covering in period C in the first 4 days, which is more than sufficient. Of course, if you have days left in period B and you think you're going to waste those days, then of course you can study law. But if you don't have time, then you have to leave law. Period C, and the most critical period, 4 days for law, dedicated wholly solely for law. Those 4 days are only for law. Then half a day each for the entire syllabus. And the best part about this half day is that you just have to study 20% of the entire syllabus in this half day. So it's not a big deal, because you have already scrutinized your entire syllabus and you have thrashed out the easy questions. So maybe in holding, if you have 100 questions, then you are only left with 30 questions to be done in half a day, which you can quickly scan through or even calculate in rough. So if I give you example of cost audit, then in cost audit there are 24 CAS. You know that 1 to 8 CAS are the most important CAS, and rest all the CASs are a repetition. So you can easily cut out all the rest CAS and only do 1 to 8 CAS during this half a day and do nothing else. Of course, you have to do rules 2017 during this half a day for cost audit. So you have to plan your period A, period B, period C in such a fashion that period C should have only 30% to be revised or to be done, so that before your examination you are confident about the subject as well as you have covered the entire syllabus efficiently. This is the way to cover the entire syllabus efficiently and in a very short span of time. Okay, sir. Got your point. One last important thing in this entire study plan, which is a practical difficulty which students face, that, sir, in October, November and September, what if our coachings are continuing? Now let me tell you one thing. In November, you cannot afford to take any coaching. Please ask your teachers that wind up their syllabus before October. November, of course, no coachings at all. No coachings. October should also be devoid of coachings, except for a say 2-3 subjects which are ending, their ending stage is there. Then you can have coachings in October. But again, October should largely be without coachings. And of course, you can have coachings in September. Now comes a very tricky question, sir. How many hours per day? Ideally, 10 to 12 hours per day should suffice. See, I'm not being unrealistic by asking you to study for 16 hours a day or 18 hours a day, which is absolutely impractical, and on a consistent basis it's not doable to do 20 hours a day or 18 hours a day. But 10 to 12 hours a day is doable. So you have to achieve a output of 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay, you can be a cow, you can be a owl. Are the people who are comfortable in studying in the mornings. Owl are people who are comfortable in studying at nights. You can be either of them. I have no problems in either of them. You can study in morning, you can study in night as per your convenience, but you have to give an output of 10 to 12 hours a day. Now mind one thing. During this study time, there is going to be some normal loss. Sir, what is normal loss? Normal loss is your cousins coming over to your home to celebrate a birthday. Your buaji coming on to your home and generally giving a visit. Your relatives, you are going to a relative's place for some wedding function or some function. which of course you should minimize, but there are some things which are unavoidable. So please be prepared for these normal losses. This will happen. Don't panic if this happens, if your time is wasted due to some normal family obligations or friends obligation, then it's perfectly fine. But do remember to cover up your lost time in the subsequent period. So if you have wasted 2 hours in say day 1, then you have to cover up those 2 hours in day 2, and that is how you are going to maintain an average of 10 to 12 hours per day of study. So yes, this is about it. Pretty much I have covered all the points which I wanted to share with you on the period for which you should study, and what should your timetable look like. I will again focus on the split which you should try and attain for your examination. This is the split period A, B, C starting from 15th September. I am assuming that you have not studied a lot before 15th of September, and that's perfectly fine. Start from 15th September till 17th December. You are definitely going to achieve the required output, which is both groups first attempt clarified in December. So perfect guys. One last thing, बिल्कुल लास्ट चीज़ बोल रहा हूँ. एटलीस्ट स्टार्ट. तो बच्चे क्या प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते हैं, बच्चे स्टार्ट नहीं करते पढ़ना. उन्हें लगता है सर इज़ देयर एनी टेक्निक जिससे हम CFR में होल्डिंग हाफ डे में निपटा लें. ऐसा नहीं होता. यू हैव टू टेक बेबी स्टेप्स. यू हैव टू स्टार्ट समवेयर. If you just plan and don't execute, then it's not going to work out in your case. So apart from planning, you also have to focus and concentrate on executing. Guys, please start. छोटे छोटे स्टेप्स लोगे तभी आगे बढ़ोगे. छोटे छोटे स्टेप्स लोगे तभी कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा. एक एक करके सब्जेक्ट को उठाते जाओगे और ख़त्म करते जाओगे इन 60 डेज में, तो बहुत ज़बरदस्त कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप होगा और कॉन्फिडेंस ग्रो करेगा. जब एक एक सब्जेक्ट निमटता हुआ दिखता है तब हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस डेफिनेटली इंक्रीज होता है, बट उसके लिए यू हैव टू स्टार्ट. सो माई अर्नेस्ट रिक्वेस्ट टू यू, प्लीज़ स्टार्ट. छोटे छोटे बेबी स्टेप्स के साथ स्टार्ट करो. Take small steps and please start your studies, and definitely you will do good in your examination. So at this point एक पोएम मुझे याद आ रही है जो मैं काफ़ी बच्चों को बताता हूँ और बोलता हूँ कि नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेके चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पे 100 बार फिसलती है. मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है और गिर कर चढ़ना, चढ़ कर गिरना फिर ना अखरता है. आखिरकार उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती और कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. ऑल द बेस्ट गाइज. Try your level best, give it your 110%, and I definitely want to see you as CMAs in January or February whenever results comes. This attempt you will become a CMA. Both groups qualified first attempt. All the best and happy studying.